Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to cut out and put together the gorgeous eagle mandala in the American flag colors. So I've already got Design Space open. The image is a Design Space image. So to hunt it down, go on the left side and click Images and type in eagle. So we can see we have 319 results. I don't really feel like scrolling through that many, so I'm going to go to Operation Type and click Cut Only, because we know this is a cut file. And then I'll go to Layers and click Multi, because we know this has multiple layers. We will scroll down, and we didn't have to scroll far until we found it, so there he is there. Another way you could hunt this guy down is actually type in Eagle Mandala, because it is a mandala design. We'll click enter, scroll up, and he was the second one that came up. So there's your two ways to find him. So we will insert the image, and he's quite big because I'm quite zoomed in. So the image size is 11.5 inches by 7.906 inches. So he's quite big. What I'm gonna do, because my cardstock that I'll be using is 11 inches by 8.5 inches, I'm gonna make this just a little smaller and hopefully it will still cut out fine. So I'm gonna go with 10.5 inches and hopefully that will work. So as we can see, he's quite big. If we look on the right side, we can see that there's numerous layers. Altogether, we've got 14 layers. But the main thing we need to figure out first is, one, how many colors are there? So if we zoom in just a little bit here, let's take a peek at the reds. We can see that in the wings, there's a dark red and kind of like a standard red color. And that standard red is also in the white and the red section, as well as his legs. If we look at the blue, we've got a dark blue, a standard blue. That same blue is in where the stars are, and it looks to be his talons as the same blue from what I can see. We've also got white, but we got two different white colors. We got an off-white and kind of a standard white. We also have yellow for his eyes, his beak, and his talons. So let's zoom back out. I'm gonna make a duplicate of our lovely friend here, and I'm gonna hide him for now. And I'll show you why here. So we'll zoom back in, and I'm going to ungroup him because I want to get a better idea of all the different pieces that we have. So we've got the white on his face. We've got that yellow color. Then we can see we got that off-white. So there, I was right. There's his talons in the bottom portion of that cut. We've got the off-white. We can see there's stars cut out of him. We can see the solid white. We got some more yellow there. We got some more red, so he's going to be a different layer than that guy. So we've got the regular red. There's our regular blue. So we can see he's more intricate in the wings. There's the darker blue, he just has some stars cut out. And then there's our two other reds. Get some guys out of the way. So the lighter red, standard red, he's got quite the intricate cuts inside his feathers. And then the dark red is just a solid color. And then for the rest of his legs, we can see when I put him by that off-white there, that it's the standard white. So let's zoom out. And because it doesn't help us now that I've messed everything up, I'm just gonna delete that and open up the one that we're gonna cut. So we know we have two reds, two blues, two whites, and a yellow. So I've gone through my cardstock and I have found two reds. So my dark red, my standard red, two blues, dark blue, standard blue, two whites, off-white, standard white, and then yellow for the talons. So I've got my colors picked out. Now let's go back to the design space and click Make It. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to change my mat size. It showed up as 12 by 12 for the material size, sorry, and we want 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to switch that on all of them. And there's a few reasons for it. One, it will let me know if I'm going to need more than one mat for a specific color. And it will also show me which way Design Space is recommending that I lay the actual cardstock. There's a couple left here. There's the red one. So we can see by changing all the mats, it added a couple extra mats. So for the regular blue as well as the standard red. So I am going to get 2 more pieces of cardstock because I am going to need it now. And then we're going to order our paper in the order that Cricut Design Space is showing us. And then by having done that, we don't have to worry about mixing up the colors. So let me get my last piece of cardstock here. Trying to hunt down that extra blue. I keep all my cardstock sorted by color schemes, but sometimes it can get tricky to hunt down the ones that you need. So there we go. I found my secondary blue. So we are good to go. Okay. So let's scroll back to the top here. So we can see that the first mat is the lighter white. Remember when we separated all the patterns, we got a better idea of all the colors. So we have 1 mat of that. So there we go. There's our white. Our next mat is the off-white. We're going to put that down next. Then we've got our yellow. So we'll put him down. Then we got 2 of the regular blues. So there's 1, there's 2. Then the machine wants to cut out the dark blue, so there he is. Now we got the regular red times 2. So there's our 2 red ones. And then there's the dark one. So we've got them laid out. We'll flip them over. And now I just grab the one on top, put it on the mat, feed it into the machine, and let it cut. So it does take a while to cut out this design. It's pretty intricate in some of the wings. So I'm not going to record that because it's very boring. But I'll be back when everything's all cut out, and then we'll show you the next tip on getting ready to start to put this guy together. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, we've got everything cut out. I know it looks like a hot mess down on my craft mat, cutting mat, but it's actually pretty easy to glue this guy together. Now, if you go back to Design Space, one, make your project bigger so you can see what's going on and that you'll visually be able to kind of put it together. But as well, if you go along to the right where the layers are, they actually, starting from the bottom, working your way up, show you the order that it goes in. So we can see that the first 2 layers is the dark red and this red. So let's move some guys out of the way. And let's get started. So I'm just using Craft Elmer's Bond, craft glue, and this is a white glue, but it does dry clear. That's why I definitely love using it. So let's get some glue on the bottom of this guy. You don't want too much. You don't want your paper to start warping. I only use 65-pound paper cardstock, except for the off-white color. I ended up actually using 110 pounds, just because I didn't have any other available off-white. I know it looks like I'm making a huge mess here, but I'm just trying to get glue on the outside of the cut pattern of this guy's wings. Then that way it will stick down. You don't want those parts coming up. You always have a few minutes with glue before it starts to dry. Some more in this area. Okay, let's get him attached. I'm just going to quickly wipe up that glue there so I don't get it on the bottom of him. Okay, I'm going to try and line it up the best I can before I press down. We're a little off on this side, so we're just going to shift him. There, that's looking pretty good. And again, any glue that bleeds out, don't worry, it's going to dry clear. If some areas don't have enough glue, you can go back afterwards and tuck that glue in. So I didn't get enough on the bottom tail feathers, but I think that's going to be okay in the end. Okay, so we got this layer done. So now it shows that the next layers are the dark blue. He's going to go there. And then the bigger of the two lighter blues goes on top. So let's get this guy glued up. Now he's a little easier, not as much cut out other than the initial shape of the guy. So just a second to add some glue. Okay, I didn't have to add that much. Okay, now we'll line him up at the top of the wings. Okay, we'll do the same thing, press him down. Oh, I had a blob of glue on my finger. We'll just rub that off. He's going to be hidden, so we don't have to worry about that. I probably could be wearing gloves, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we got him down. So we know he's going to lay directly on top. There we go. So let's get him glued up. Now I'll have to do the same thing here, get some more along the very edges. Then that way, hopefully, oh, that's quite the block there. So I'll just use my finger and move that glue around. Do the same thing there. Along the tail feathers. We do that same thing. Okay. Let's pull him up. My mat keeps moving, my apologies. You can see he got laid into some of the glue, but that's okay. Let's get him lined up. So you want to line up the stars on him. Let's press him down. Tail feathers are a little off, but that will happen when you're gluing any type of mandala piece. You'll line up one part and another part will be slightly off. Okay, so I'm going to give him a second to dry before we go any further. Okay, I've given him a chance to dry a little bit there. Now we can see that our next layer is the solid red layer. So he's gonna go right there. So let's get him glued up and attached. Glue bottles making inappropriate noises. You know, everyone's had that happen with their glue bottles. Trying to get along the edges the best I can here. We want him to stick down very well. Okay. Okay, let's press him down. And I'm taking a peek at the screen, and I can see that our next color is the regular white, not the off-white. So we've got him here, and he's gonna go right there. So this one was a little trickier to actually get off the mat, just in the corners there. So he's a little warped, my apologies for that. But we're gonna get him glued down best we can, and then hopefully it's not as noticeable. Come down all the stripes. Make sure to get extra glue in that one section where it bent a little bit. And hopefully we can keep him from popping up, which he shouldn't. Along the tail feathers. Some more in there. Okay. So we will attach him. Trying my best to keep my hands out of the glue that I've put on the bottom for the back side. So again, I'm lining up more on his wings than I am on his tail feathers. Press him down. Okay, and then our next layer that we're putting on is the big cut of the off-white. So that is this guy here. So he's gonna go right there, and then the blue goes on top of him. So we'll get him glued up. He's got stars in his wings, so I'm just trying to get around some of the stars along the feathers. Just gonna try and get the edges of his tail feathers. If we get the ends of them glued down, then he should stay down really well. Get him lined up. Come over a little bit. Okay, let's give him a press. See, you can see him starting to come together, and again, not nearly as hard as it looks when you first open up the image. Okay, now we know that the blue guy's next. I'm gonna give a quick wipe on some of this excess glue. Oh, almost bent his wing. That would have been bad. We don't want to do that. Some glue. So as you can see, the pieces are getting smaller and smaller as we build him up. And you can see the design popping through. Okay. If you hear the noises in the background, that is actually our green bin collector coming around. So he's making all those noises. So my apologies for that. There. Okay, so the next part we're doing is our guy's white part of his legs. So I just want to make sure I've got these facing the right way. It looks like I do. But you always want to double check. So I'm looking at the picture, looking back. At the design, and it looks like those guys go Just double check if it's that way. No, it's definitely not. Oh, it might be. So I'm actually going to block out all the stuff by him. I just want to see which way these guys go. So I did have it right. I tried my best when I was taking everything off the mat to do it and keep them the same way up that they were cut. But sometimes you don't necessarily pay attention or pieces kind of flip. So again, was doing my best. Okay, let's get him lined up. So we got his claws there. So these ones are a little trickier. They're quite small, and it's only going to get smaller from here. A little bit over. Yeah, you only have a second or two to kind of place guys where they need to get placed. I'm going to pause for a second, kind of let these pieces dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, I am back. So our next layer is the red in his leg. So these pieces here, I've already lined them up. So I'm going to flip them both over to glue the backside, and then we'll get them attached. So again, not a lot of surface area to work with here. So I'm just gonna try and get the glue around as much as I can. Him picked up, flip him around, and he goes directly on top of the white. Press him down. Now we'll do this side. Okay, same for side number 2. Okay, only got a few pieces left. So next, again, we'll wipe up some more of that glue, get it off my fingers. So next is the yellow in this talons. So I've got them the right way there. I'm actually going to pull out my tweezers. These pieces are getting smaller and smaller, and I do not want to bend them. Very tricky. I'm going to bring it to the edge of the mat. There's one, there's 2, and I can hear the green bin guy again. Of course, he wants to come through as I'm doing the video up for you guys. I'm just trying to get the glue everywhere. Okay. Angle him the best I can. Okay, same for the second one. Oh. You could probably also hear my cat purring. Apparently my cat likes eagles and approves of this mandala design. There we go. Okay, we have 2 pieces left. We got the yellow, which is next, and then we've got the white. there was just a little bit of fuzz left on him. So this one was pretty tricky for the machine to cut out. I tried my best to kind of poke through the holes. I'm just going to give it a couple more pokes here. Because obviously you want to see through the holes in his nose. Beak, I should say. Use my nail there. Okay, so that looks better. So let's get him glued up. So he's gonna line up. Right about there. Try to get him centered. Press him down. And then I'm just double checking. Oh, I missed this one. Let's get him off before he dries. It's like, this isn't looking right. I forgot the big guy. That goes there first. My apologies. I was wondering why it was looking so weird. So he lines up perfectly on the top. There we go. That makes more sense. Sorry for the camera shake. Now I'm going to add some more glue to this guy. So there, we had a minor craft fail that we were able to fix. Now it makes sense that I could line up the eyes on this one. Because his eyes are blue. Then this last piece goes right on top. Almost done. It's stuck to my finger, but that is okay. Press him down. So there we go. This is how you put the mandala together. Okay, so I've let him dry. So he is finished. What do we think? I think he is gorgeous. I am going to definitely put this up for 4th of July celebrations. I might end up matting him onto some more cardstock and see if I can find a frame so I can actually get him framed. I don't have one that would fit his size on hand. All of mine are a little too small. I already double checked for you guys, but hopefully watching this video has given you the confidence to be able to cut this out and put it together. As I said, it looks hard and intimidating, but it's not. This is actually pretty easy to put together. Just follow the steps that I gave, from sorting out your cardstock to getting it sorted onto the mats, to following the design in design space bottom to top to get it all together. And ignore my little boo-boo when the one piece I missed. And the piece was over in the corner and just was kind of out of my view. That's what happened there. But I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Happy 4th of July.